Now that you know the JSWP terminology and color coding, the time has come for you to learn the process. Remember, writing is about thinking. We appreciate the value of having mentor texts in the classroom, anchor texts that are used as an example for students to see the results of a writer's thinking. But how did that writer develop the thought that created the end result that students see on the page? What was she thinking? How did she come up with the idea to write it down? You'll remember that the first study hall episodes provided you with a model of the Cinderella body paragraph. The purpose of those lessons was to teach the JSWP terminology and color coding. We will use this same model to demonstrate how we invented and constructed each sentence. But first, we must revisit the writing prompt. Write a one-chunk response to literature body paragraph, 1 to 2 plus, that explains how Cinderella feels in the first half of the story. Before students can respond well to an academic writing prompt, they must first know what the prompt is asking of them. We teach our students the JSWP skill known as decoding the prompt. Students must first know what they're writing. Are they writing a short answer, a paragraph, or an essay, for example? You might think that the answer to this question is obvious, and it is if the student reads the prompt carefully. We teach students to draw a box around what they are going to write. We're writing a paragraph. Because we know that a paragraph must have a topic sentence and a concluding sentence, the students start the mapping process by writing a TS for topic sentence and a CS for concluding sentence below the prompt. We can also tell that the teacher has asked for a one-chunk paragraph with a ratio of 1 to 2 plus. The student draws a box around the 1 and a circle around the 2 plus, then maps out the chunk between the TS and the CS. This map helps students to know the parameters of the assignment. As students progress through the school years, writing prompts become more sophisticated, especially when students are writing multi-paragraph essays in high school and college. A teacher will no longer spell out the number of chunks in a paragraph or the ratio of concrete detail to commentary. That's to be expected, because with all good teaching, the teacher starts removing the instruction because the students have learned how to decode a prompt. They'll make decisions about what type and how many paragraphs are necessary to accomplish the task. For response to literature, also known as literary analysis, the highest scoring essays have a 1 to 2 plus ratio. So when students are asked to analyze a literary work, they no longer must be told. They know, but they must learn how to decode a prompt before we can expect them to know. For the topic sentence, the TS, we teach the students to ask the question, who or what am I writing about? We're writing about Cinderella, so we circle Cinderella in the prompt and write Cinderella next to the TS. This is the subject or topic of the paragraph, and that's why we call the first sentence of a paragraph a topic sentence. What follows in literary analysis is the writer's opinion, also known as interpretation or analysis, that answers the prompt. For literary analysis, the ratio is 1 to 2 plus whether or not the ratio is actually in the prompt. The ratio, however, is in this prompt, and for my concrete detail, I see that I'm going to find my evidence at the beginning of the story. Sometimes a prompt might specify a certain paragraph in a prose piece or a stanza in a poem. Students must pay attention to the focus of the prompt. The question the writer must ask is, what evidence am I looking for? I'm looking for how Cinderella feels at the beginning of the story. So as I read the text or watch the film, I know that I'm looking for words, actions, and or events at the beginning of the story that reveal how Cinderella feels. my concrete detail comes straight from the story. It's the plot, and may be represented by embedding quotations or paraphrasing. For my 2 or more commentary sentences, I must explain the importance or significance of those feelings I uncovered in my concrete detail as they relate to the story and to life in general. Remember, the commentary is a writer's wiggle. Its purpose is to demonstrate a writer's perspective through inferencing. Each of us comes to a text with different ideas about the meaning of a text. Here is my chance as a writer to demonstrate my insight into the meaning of the concrete detail I will select. Finally, for the concluding sentence, the beginning writer should reflect the topic sentence without repeating it. In other words, use synonyms. For advanced writers, the CS is a little more complex, reflecting not only the topic sentence, but also delving more deeply into the commentary. Here you see decoding the prompt in its entirety. It's a twofold process, where we box, circle, and underline important words in the task of the prompt, and then map out the information. We don't know what we're going to write yet, because we haven't read the text or watched the film. But as we read the text or watch the film, we know now what's expected of us, what to look for, and how to proceed, because we understand the prompt. When we know the expectations of our teachers, we can do anything.